Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to what might be one of the most difficult photography days that I had in 2023. I don't know when this video is going to be released, but it might be at the end of 2023, maybe the first video of 2024, but yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of overcast clouds expected today, but when I looked on the cloud radar, and I show you the map here, you can see that there is a gap in those clouds predicted, and I just try to drive south towards this gap and hopefully find some interesting light. But when I approached the area that I was aiming for, I was actually aiming to go a little bit more south. I drove into a bit of a fog cloud, and I thought to myself, this area that I'm in here, and I've been here a couple of times, a lot of times actually, might be perfect for those foggy conditions. But when I got here, and you can see it when you look around, it's not really fog, it's more of a haze on the horizon. So yeah, I don't know, I always have this rule for myself that when there are conditions like this, you know, this overcast conditions, dull conditions, I always try to go to new areas, because when you're walking around in an area that you've been many times with conditions like this, you're usually walking around like, I've got that shot, I've got that shot, I've got that shot, but all way better than conditions are today. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a struggle to find something, but I'm not giving up that easy. So yeah, let's go. And I'm aiming to walk a little bit further, because there's not much fog around here, but in the back there's a little bit more concentrated. So hopefully I can find some shots when I get over there. So let's head on. So I think I might have found the first image of the day. You know, it's not much yet. You know what I told you, it's going to be a struggle, but I actually noticed a scene that I never noticed before. And maybe it's because it's winter that all the leaves have fallen off this tree, but in the far distance, and I'm going to show you here with some video footage. Now I'm shooting this with the 300mm, so my shot is a little bit wider, but if you look up here, you can see this dead tree with a little bit of a haze behind it. You know, it's still 30 minutes before sunrise, so it's a bit of a blue hour shot, and I don't want to walk into the reserve here too far, because it's not allowed to enter before sunrise. So it's always a bit of a struggle in the Netherlands between great shots and taking a risk. But I do like the atmosphere in this image, and especially this path running in a corner towards that tree in the bottom. I just really like it. The only thing I don't like is that path in the background running diagonally through that tree. So that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, I'm just taking this shot, and I'm just thinking to myself, on a normal summer day when this tree has its leaves and a bit of mist, you will have a really nice composition here. So this might not be the best conditions for this shot today, but there's definitely potential in this specific shot. So I'm gonna take this with the 300mm, and I hope it's going to be something. I think it will end up as a square, and yeah, we will see. So this is the first shot. So I was just shooting the tree over there with the path, and I just turned the camera 90 degrees to the left, because one of my favorite trees in the Netherlands is here on the left side, and I photographed this tree a lot of times, and I kind of promised myself that every time I go here, I'm picturing this tree. And I'm doing a lecture at the moment at a few camera stores, and I've got one shot in it with this tree in all kinds of different conditions, and this is just once again another very dull moment possibly. But let me show you this shot right now. You know, this is the tree that I'm looking at, and it actually looks pretty dull on the video footage, but there's a bit of a haze behind it, and my photo shot is a bit wider on the top and the bottom, which would mean that there's a bit more of that haze in the shot. So another different condition that I didn't shoot this image in before. So just taking this shot, and I'm gonna walk to the back here now and see if there's anything of interest that I haven't seen before. This area there isn't much sorry, in this area there isn't much fog around, so I'm gonna concentrate on the back there, see if I can find something. But that blue sky that I was aiming for ain't gonna happen today, definitely not. So this shot's in the bag, and hopefully we will find something worth shooting this morning. So I always tell myself that I just need that one shot to make a trip worth it. But to be honest, it's been a while since I've been out, you know. Terrible weather, busy holiday season. I've been sick for a while. And then, yeah, it's just very nice to be out here, you know. And even if I don't get a shot today, I'm just happy to be out today. So that's always important, but it would be nice if I could get that, just that one shot, you know, that one shot that's worth it. And I don't think those first two there, they're definitely not those two shots. They were just some fillers with potential on a different day, but not on a day like today. So what I'm gonna try to look for is some sort of tree or bush or anything with that hazy background that I can really isolate and make a really moody shot. Something like I did in last week's video. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link up here. But it was a lot foggier than this day. So we will see if we can find something in this area. So I just found another shot here, and once again with the 300mm. And it's actually the same tree as that I photographed earlier with this path in front of it. And if you look, it's just on the far horizon there. But it looks pretty cool because of this dark background. There's a bit of haze around it, which makes this tree more visible. You know, if this haze wouldn't be behind this tree, then you wouldn't see it because it's a black tree in front of a dark background. But this haze makes the shot possible. And yeah, let me show you on the back here. I think you can see it this time. So this is what I framed up, and you can see I just positioned this tree here in front of this really dark area. There's just one corner here with a little bit of light, but I think it will be a square eventually, or I might crop that out, I'm not sure yet. But if I move just a little bit to the right, you can see a big bush comes into the frame on the right side, which I don't like. So it will probably end up to be a square, and yeah, you can see it's that tree right over there. So that's one thing that I really rely on when I go out on the fly looking for these images. I'm not only looking down here, but not also looking for the wide image, but I'm looking at those post stamps on the horizon to see if I can shoot anything. And especially on a day like this, with a bit of dull grey conditions, I'm always scouting the horizon for little shots like this. And I just noticed that little bush of birch trees over there, and I thought it might be interesting for a double exposure, but I actually couldn't find anything with it, so I dropped that idea. So yeah, I think I've got this shot, and let's head on and see if we can find anything else. actually looks like there's a little bit more of this fog or haze coming into this area. Would be nice for the photos if it would be a bit of a thicker layer, but there's definitely no light gonna come today. You know, it's really overcast, and I don't know why. According to the cloud radar, I should be in an open area, but I don't know. And I was actually looking on this side here. You can see there's a tree line in the back, and right in front of it are two silver birch trees, one in the left and one in the right. And I was just trying if I could reach those and make sort of an abstract shot of them, but yeah, I don't know. Definitely not sure about this image, so I will show you these images, but I don't think they're worth showing. So let me know what you think. I think it's just too little, too thin of a subject. So let's continue. So I think I've been scanning the area here for more than 15 minutes, just looking for that shot, and I'm just thinking, maybe it just isn't here. You know, maybe I'm searching for something that's definitely not here. But then I found a rather nice composition here just before I wanted to leave. The only problem is that there's something missing in the right bottom of the frame, and I'm not sure if this is gonna affect the image in the end. It's not a portfolio image or anything, but it's just a nice clean shot. And I'm just thinking of this on a foggy day with some nice light, and it would definitely be a nice shot. And I'm just wobbling around here. Let me show you the shot actually. So it's a shot with a lot of layers. You got this tree in the foreground here, a bunch of trees here, and then all those other trees are exactly separated from the rest around it. But the only problem is that this area here is empty, so I'm not quite sure how to solve that and if it's okay. So first I thought I'm gonna walk over there and stand in that corner myself, but it's just a really long way to get there. You know, I guess it will take me about 5 minutes to get to that spot, at least 5 minutes. I can do a self-timer like that. You know, if someone would have been here with me and they could push the shutter, I would try it, but I'm definitely not sure about that. So I am going to shoot this image just as it is, and I will see. Maybe in post-processing it doesn't bother me at all. We will see about that. But I think I got this shot, and I'm going back down and see if I can find something. But it is what I expected it to be, a really, really difficult morning, and very difficult to find anything interesting here. But the conditions are there, you know, the fog is here, but there's just no light at all, and the fog is just too thin to really make use of it. So I don't know, maybe on my way back to the car I can find something, or else I might just give up on this morning. You know, it's just one of these days. You know, this happens to all of us every now and then, and I know it looks like I'm only having these epic conditions always, but it's definitely not the case. I can tell you that, definitely not. So this happens every now and then. You know, the problem with a morning like this is that there is no light, and of course no light isn't definitely a problem. You know, you can shoot images in a no light situation, but if you look at this fog, it's just too thin to make something of it on the open area, and it disappears in the forest area. So there's not a real good situation to go and shoot images. It definitely isn't this area. But yeah, I'm not sure if there would have been any good area today to photograph. Maybe this would be a great morning for some street photography in a city, you know, early morning, no one on the streets, bit of a hazy, foggy morning. Yeah, that would be nice. But I think this wasn't the right location, and that's something that I always try to do. I always try to match a location that suits the weather conditions, but there's always a possibility that things just don't go as planned, like today. So yeah, I still hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget, please push that thumbs up button. And normally they are a little bit better with better images and more amazing conditions. But you know, I can't create something that isn't there. I did my best. I walked around, found a couple of shots, but nothing really smashing that was that interesting. So yeah. If you didn't subscribe already and you do want to see some epic conditions, then don't forget, push that subscribe button underneath this video. Like I said, normally I'm having much better conditions and much more interesting videos, I guess. But every now and then something like this comes along where things aren't that interesting. So hopefully next week a much better video. And yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and I just hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.